Hi, it's me again, Steve Bedder from Autodesk here in the UK. I've got some iLogic tips that I want to share with you. As a design engineer, you've probably asked on various occasions to share data out in various different formats. So for example, this Inventor 2D drawing that we've got here, you may need to share that downstream with the supply chain. So we've got the Save Copy As tool built directly into Autodesk Inventor that will allow you to take this 2D drawing and save it in a number of different formats, so AutoCAD DWG file formats, bitmap formats, DWF file formats, etc. and even image formats like JPEG, as I've just done here. I've just taken that 2D drawing and just used the Save Copy As tool to produce an image file in JPEG format that we can share with the supply chain. We can also share this in other formats, so such as things like PDF. So using the Adobe Acrobat viewer, we can create a PDF version of this 2D drawing that when we open it up in the Acrobat viewer, we've got all of the layer information in there, and we can turn layers on and off using the Acrobat viewer. So users, within the supply chain can interact with the documents. Obviously, they can't make changes, but what they can do is turn layers on and off using that PDF file format. We can even output to file formats such as PNG and GIF and TIFF file formats. Something that's been asked recently is about TIFF formats, and can we share data in TIFF formats? And yes, we can. And we can even set the size of the image. So using the options tool, we can set the image size to, in this case, 1280 by 1024, so that we can produce it in a file format that's required by the users. And in this case, it's opening up into Adobe Photoshop, but other viewers will also open the TIFF files as well. Now, rather than having to use the Save Copy As tool manually for each file format, we can use iLogic, which is embedded directly into all the Autodesk Inventor Suite products, where we can add rules-based design automation. For those that have used iLogic before, you'll know that you can very quickly and easily build rules based on what you want to automate. You don't need to have a lot of knowledge of Visual Basic or those kinds of coding tools. We just use the iLogic interface to quickly and easily write, in this case, just a single line of code to ask iLogic to save the JPEG file when we run this rule. So we've set this single line rule that basically just says, well, look, take this document and save it as a new file with a different extension, in this case a .jpeg file. When we run the rule, that line of code will be run, and before you know it, we'll have that JPEG file. But just to prove that there's no smoke and mirrors going on here, I'll just delete the files within that folder. I'll run the rule, and when we switch back to Explorer, you'll see that that JPEG file has been created. So using the iLogic rule, we can automate this process. Now, what about if you need to produce a number of different file formats rather than just one single JPEG? Well, we just take that line of code, and we're just going to copy it and paste it down another 2 times and just change that extension. So we're going to have a JPEG file, a PDF file, and also a TIFF file. And again, let's just check there's no JPEG file in there. We've deleted it out. I'll run this rule, and in one hit we can see that we've got the JPEG, the PDF, and that TIFF file automatically created in one go, saving us a lot of time and a lot of effort. We've still got all the same options for in the PDF document of turning layers on and off, but let's just remove them again. Now this time, all I'm going to do here is I just want some clarification that these files are actually being created. So using the message box tools that we've got built in iLogic, again just a single line where all we need to do is just change the message that we want to show. So it's just going to say that all file formats have been saved. Give the dialog box a little title, or the message box a title. Run OK. And this time, when it produces the files, we'll get a visual confirmation in the form of a message box that tells us that all file formats have been saved. Now we can automate this further, so that rather than having to manually run the rule, we can apply this to a triggered event. So what I'm saying here is, whenever I click on Save, I want that rule to run. So it's going to produce, so it's going to save the Inventor DWG file for me, but it's also going to produce those three image files: the JPEG, the PDF, and the TIFF file. So as you can see, we're using iLogic to help us automate those tedious tasks.